right, Detroit, we are back. So we are here at the beginning of the 25-26, basically year 4 of this franchise mode. So what we're going to go ahead and do first is a little playoff wrap up if they still have it available. It's not available, but we can scroll through the awards here, see what we're looking like. So Stanley Cup did come back to Detroit. So we do have the Stanley Cup. President's Trophy went to Edmonton for 2 years in a row. Clarence S. Campbell went to Edmonton. Prince of Wales here to Detroit. And then we'll go to individual awards. Art Ross went to McDavid for most points. Hart Memorial to McDavid. James Norris Memorial to Cale Makar. Lady Byng to Connor McDavid. The Calder went to Tara Tukin of the Arizona Coyotes. Conn Smythe went to Dylan Larkin for MVP of the playoffs. Vezina Trophy went to Gorgiev. William M. Jennings went to Gorgiev. Bill Masterton went to Adam Larson. Jack Adams went to the head coach of the Arizona Coyotes. Frank J. Selke went to Sidney Crosby. Ted Lindsay went to McDavid. And Maurice Richard went to McDavid. So definitely a lot of McDavid trophies here. He pulled home, what, 5? 1, 2, 3... 4 and 5. Yeah, he pulled home 5 individual trophies in 24-25. So good season for him. But all in all, the Red Wings do take home the cup. So what we're going to go ahead and do heading into the regular season is we are going to check on lines for NHL, AHL, make sure everything is set up the way we want it. And then we're going to go ahead and get into simulation. So our line 1 is Lucas Raymond, Dylan Larkin, and Patrick Laine. We got Jack Quinn here, who we acquired from a trade. On the second line with Roslovic and Casper now getting second line time. Third line we have Rasmussen, Tyson Jost, and Frankie Vetrano. Fourth line we got Soderblom, Yakov Trenin, and Tanner Jeannot. On defense, we have Shea Theodore and Moritz Seider still, Wallander and Miller, Valimaki and Edvinson, so that's really nice. And then in goal, we have Saros and Kosa. Hopefully Kosa can get a big jump after this year, maybe make it into starting goalie role. Let's go ahead and see what Saros is looking like for contract. He's got 6 years left, so he's definitely going to be here for a while, but what I'm thinking is if Kosa does jump up into that starting role, we can go ahead and, if he gets to like 86, 87 for the beginning of next year, we can run him as the starter, and then Saros can actually be moved in a trade for a different piece. So I think that's where we're going to go. I like how the lines look this year. I think we'll still be a competitive team. Let's go ahead and take a look at the AHL. So we have Hiroshi, Fonstad, Luffs, Zarnik, Kirk, Blickfield, Hellenen, Avon, Evangelista, Maggio, Lombardi, and Abruzzese. I am good with that. Maybe Abruzzese on that third line. I like how that looks, though. On defense, we have Morin and Brodin at a +5, which is really nice. We have Emil Vero, who's got top 6 high, playing with Zach Jones, who's top 6 as well. So hopefully they can get some jumps. But we really want to focus on this Christian Brodin. He is definitely a guy that we want to make sure we grow fully. He is that offensive defenseman of the future, like a Cale Makar type thing or a Erik Karlsson. So we definitely want him to hit his prime. And Etienne Morin, he does have top 6 medium, but he's growing pretty quickly. So we might be able to get his X Factor, send it up on the power play, like that second or third line power play. That would be really nice to get him up there in the NHL. So honestly, I think we are ready to start simulation. The one thing I do want to check on is I'm going to head into the settings really quick. The couple ones I want to make sure of are I want to make sure that the injuries and everything is the way it's supposed to be, and then also I want to make sure that so injuries are on, but I want to make sure that let's see, so where was it? I want to make sure that scouting, where is scouting here? I do want to make sure that's on auto scouting bolt. Awesome. Okay, so we do have the scouts that are going to be sent out for us. So I think let's go ahead and get into simulation. We will see how this team stacks up. I did trade away some offensive prospects to get that defensive prospect. or to get Jack Quinn, because we definitely had prospects in the AHL that are going to be making their way up as depth. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just hop into simulation here. So, I mean, do I think we're an overpowering regular season team? No, but I think we have the depth and the defensive capabilities to make it deep in the playoffs again. So we're going to go ahead and go month at a time here. We have 3 divisional games to start off the year. It would be nice to take a couple of these. We do take one off the Bruins, 2-1 against the Leafs. That's a decent team. So, all right. I mean, that's not great to start off with divisional opponents, but we can't complain too much about that. But yeah, I think we're still going to be a competitive team. I don't think we lost too many pieces going into this year. We did have some age drop off, which sucked for the second line, but I don't think we downgraded too much, and we actually upgraded our second line a little bit. So I still think we're going to be a competitive team. We start off 4-2-2. We got some high scoring games there as well, 6-5 and 7-4. So hopefully, oh yeah, that one hurts a little bit. So November 14th, that is pretty short. You know, we are going to edit this manually. I think, let's see. So how does Quinn's chemistry? That's a +2. What about getting Casper some top line time with these guys? +1. Nah. So we're going to go ahead and get Quinn up there. We're going to go ahead and pull up Vetrano, pull up Jeannot, and then we will go ahead and toss in. Do we want to toss in Adam Ernie, or do we want to toss in Giovanni Smith? I think Adam Ernie is who we want to use as our first replacement. And then hopefully this fixes itself. It doesn't. And it doesn't. So power play, we can just go ahead and toss in Cider here. Getting him on both power play lines. He's a bit of a workhorse, so he should be okay. And then same thing, not same thing here. We're going to go ahead and toss on, we can do Jack Quinn. Yep, I'm good with that. I mean, -1, we don't have our top goal scorer up there, so the goals might drop off a bit. But we will see how it simulates with Line A being injured, which is a bit of a rough one. Let's see if it actually catches up or if I need to cancel. Oh, pardon me. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's not catching up. So, yeah, it definitely didn't. So we took a win, a regulation loss, a shootout win, and a shootout loss. So out of 8 possible points, we got 5, which is pretty good. We're sitting at 6-3-3, top of our division. We do have 3 games in hand, or Panthers have 3 games in hand on us at 14 points, so they will probably jump back up. But we're not looking too bad as far as division goes. 15 points is bottom of any first place team, but we also, for this 4-game stretch, didn't have our top goal scorer and still took majority points, which is really nice. Line A should be back pretty soon. Bonk is fully healed, so we're going to continue until Line A's back. I'm not really going to worry about that. We take another point there, and Line A is back. So let's go ahead and edit lines manually. Let's get Line A back in there, and then Bonk back in there. So it's going to be Ernie that comes out. Let's go ahead and get Line A back in the lineup. Go ahead and toss him back on that first line. Go ahead and get Quinn back on that second line. And get Vetrano back on that third line. So I like the way this is set up. Let's go ahead and go to the AHL. We'll get Bonk back in there. There we go. And then it's Bishop or Desjardins. Let's see, 9 games played and 4. So it's Bishop that comes out for Oliver Bonk. There we go. All right, now is there a way? I don't think there's physically a way in the AHL for us to not get this -2, but that's okay. How's Brodin doing this year? 4 points so far, not too bad. Morin, 4 points. Jones got 6. Vero's got 4. Bonk didn't have any. Desjardins has 2. What about, I know we have a bunch of young guys up here who are looking to grow a bit. Let's see. So we have Avon, who's top 9. He's only got 3. Evangelista, top 6 low. He's got 3 goals. Not too bad. Maggio, he's bottom 6, but he's actually playing decent. Lombardi, top 9. I mean, not too great. And then Hallinan, we're not worried about. Do we have a goalie down here? Yeah, we got Boyer down here. He's not simulating that well. Salmonen is also not simulating well. Interesting. Let's go ahead and check on Kosa. It's 3 games played, no wins, but good simulation. And he's got a high goals against, but it looks like we're just giving up too many shots. So we'll see how that goes throughout the year. It is still a small sample with only 9 games in, or what is it? I think we're 12 games in, maybe 13. Yeah, we're 13 games in, so I'm not going to worry about it too hard. Let's go ahead and cancel again because we got that simulation bug. And let's see, we do take another point here. We do take a regulation loss, but then a regulation win. Wow, the Kings are struggling. So let's see, we've got 3 500 teams in a row, another one under 500, another one under 500, 500 team, and then a decent team. So out of the last, what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I would like to get 8 points out of the next 14 game, or out of the next 14 possible. So let's see what we can do here. We got 2 there. That's good to see. We don't get any there. We need 6 more points out of these games. So we need 4 more out of 4 games. That should definitely be doable for a team like ours. Yep, we need 2 more points, and there we go. We got 8 points. So that is definitely good. Even if we lose in regulation these last 2, I think we got what we wanted. When we get another 2, and let's see, against the Ducks, they're a good team. And we get another 1. So out of those, what was it, 14 possible points, we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 out of 14 possible. We only missed out on 3 points. So that's a really good stretch right there. We are still sitting top of the division, but the Panthers are just not playing games. They've got 5 games in hand on both the Bruins and the Red Wings up there, and they're only 5 points down on us, 2 points down on the Bruins. So hopefully that'll even itself out a little bit more. Let's go ahead and get to the halfway point of the season. Let's go ahead and get to January 1st here, and then we'll take a look at stats about 40, 41, 42 games into the season. And we do take 2 points out of the possible 4 at the beginning of the month. We do got a good team in the Jets that we're facing here. We do take a point off them, which is good, and we beat the Avalanche. So we do look like we're a good team. 15, 6, and 6 is definitely nothing to be ashamed of, but you can always hit a bad stunt and make that a lot more even. So it looks like we take that game off of Minnesota. How is San Jose doing this year? We do take a point off of them. It simulated so quick I didn't get to see their record. The bad team in the Kings, wow, they were 2-12, so they went 10-4 in their last 14. Yeah, they definitely picked it back up. We do take a win off of the Oilers. We beat the crap out of the Calgary Flames, which is really nice. It's good to see the goals going in. What about Chicago? So Vetrano's been injured. He's on the bottom 2 lines. I'm just going to head coach replace. I'm fine with Ernie being on one of those bottom 2 lines, or Smith, however it ends up working out. And we're currently on a 4-game win streak. So we are now 35 games into the season. We have a 5-point lead on the Maple Leafs. Let's see, the Panthers, yeah, they still got 4 games in hand on us, but even if we lose all 4 and they win all 4, they don't come above us. So I don't think we're too worried about the Panthers anymore. We're sitting at 28-7. So that's really, really good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the points that we got here for our team. So we're looking at our top line specifically. We got Line A here up at 28 points in 30 games. That's really nice. We got 38 points from Raymond plus 19. That looks really good. And then 39 points plus 20 for Dylan Larkin. So that top line is definitely not anything to mess with. We got 23 points out of Sider, which is nice, and 20 out of Theodore. So definitely getting some production from the D-men. Let's see, any big blatant minuses? I don't think with a good team like this. Jack Quinn on the second line is our biggest minus, but he's got 30 points in 35 games. So definitely don't want to move that. He's a point for us to be winning. Other than that, the team is looking really good. Let's go ahead and take a look at our goalies. See if Kosa is still simulating well. He's 3-0. He is playing insanely good. He should definitely get some statistical growth after this year if he keeps that up. Saros definitely dropped his goals against and raised his save percentage, so he is the 89 overall starting goalie that we wanted him to be. Let's go ahead and take a look at AHL stats. So Boyer at 6-3-1. I mean, the team is scoring in front of these guys because they're not doing too hot on save percentage. Let's go ahead and look at all skaters. So our point leader in the AHL is Fonstad. He's got 33 points in 29 games. That's really good. Hiroshi 32. Let's go ahead and see. So Jones at 17 points. That's really good for him. He could get some growth out of that. Now, what are we looking like for Morin? He's at 11 points plus 5. That's good. And then what about, what was his name? Brodeen right here. 24 points in 29 games as a defenseman. He's definitely going to be NHL ready next year. 100%. Look at that. That almost, I would say, is NHL ready at this point with the puck skills, shooting, and defensive stats. He's definitely getting up there. His physical is why his overall is so low. So he definitely is performing, and he's going to keep performing. He's going to be a heavy offensive defenseman for the future for the Red Wings. So let's go ahead and we can back out here into the main screen. The Griffins are 28-1. The Detroit Red Wings are 28-7. So looking pretty similar. We are going to take a small break here. My lunch did just show up, so I'm going to edit back when we get back into simulation. So we will be right back. All right, we are back. So, sorry for that brief intermission. Got to get food in me. So, we went over all the stats. We looked at everything. The one thing I do want to check on is I'm going to go ahead and go to progress reports, see what's going on for those young guys. Let's see. So, I do want to see. Let's go ahead and sort Jack Quinn. The wheels that you see there, the elite edges and the make it snappy, that's not right because you can see Morris Sider has no X factors. So, we're not worried about that. Jack Quinn is getting a decent amount of statistical growth from his performance so far in the year. Let's see, Moritz Seider, it's all statistical at this point. There's no natural. I think he peaks at that 88 overall. Let's go ahead and line A, it's all statistical. He's not dropping off at all, which is very good to see. Shea Theodore, same thing, all statistical. Dylan Larkin, let's check Marco Kasper. So he actually has minuses on statistical growth, which really sucks, but I think with that medium elite, he will naturally grow and be decent for us. Yakov Trenin, minuses on statistical growth, but as long as it doesn't get too bad, he's got some pluses on statistical. What about in the system? We got Jonathan Emery here, elite low. He's up to a 64. I know we got him at like a 50 something, I think. But he's got a very good amount of natural growth, which is very exciting to see. Christian Brodeen, decent amount of natural growth, so we're happy about that. Amir Bengoa, decent amount of natural growth. Let's see, he's 18, bottom 6 medium, so I don't know if he'll really get anywhere. Lebedev, Yuri Lebedev, top 6 low. He's got some natural growth going, which is good. Other than that, though, I mean, Amadeus Lombardi has 1 natural growth, so I don't think he's really going to go anywhere. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and hop back into simulation. The team is simulating really, really well, so I don't really want to touch anything. So let's see, we're 7-2-1 in our last 10. We are at the top of our division, and I think we're actually catching up there with the top of the teams in the NHL. 47, we're actually tied for the best team in the NHL. So they do have a game on us, but we're looking really good here. Let's go ahead and get another month in. Let's see, so our big games this month are going to be against Boston, who is in the wild card spot right there. The Maple Leafs, who are right behind us, that would be a good team to beat. Other than that, I don't mind the regulation losses, but I do still want to minimize them. So let's go ahead and get through this month. Columbus is a 500 team. Hopefully we can take that. We do drop it 4-2, which is a little unfortunate. Boston is a good game to win here. We do take a point off it, but we give them 2. We do take 2 points off the Islanders. Sharks, we also should take 2 points off. Let's do it. Yep, and we take 2 against the Maple Leafs. That's big. So we do gap a little bit on the Senators and Maple Leafs, but the Bruins are definitely catching up. Vetrano is fully healed, so let's go ahead and get Vetrano back in the lineup. Let's go ahead and get Ernie off of that third line, get Vetrano back on. So we got our full clean bill of health back. We've got the team how it was at the beginning of the year, so should do well. Yep, I think we're looking all good on those aspects. So let's go ahead and hop back into simulation here. Let me get a quick drink of water. All right, Senators would be a good game, but it did do the simulation bug here. Let's see. So we didn't actually play the Senators, but look at this. The Red Wings are on a 6-game win streak. So we're definitely keeping the puck out of the net. The last 5, the most we've allowed is 2. This 175 was a big one, but we do end up taking it with good goal scoring. But it does seem like we're able to keep the puck out of the net decently well. With the last even 4 games, we only gave up 5 goals. So that's really good. Let's see, we're making a bit of a push. Yeah, here, 60 points. We are top of the NHL, clear by 4 points. So definitely a really good team we got here. Let's go ahead and get up to this Ottawa game. So Chicago, how are they doing this year? Let's go ahead and check. So 19, 13, and 9. We take 2 points off them. We're on a 7-game win streak. Roslovic does go down to injury. Let's go ahead and edit that manually. So with Roslovic out to injury, that's the second line forward, or second line center, which sucks a little bit for us. So Jost is going to move up. Trennan's going to move up. Soderblom is going to move over to the middle. And then we're going to go ahead and toss in Ernie here. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll go ahead and get Ernie in there. That does hurt us a bit. Jost is a very weak second line center, but hopefully those puck skills can help them keep scoring a bit. Jack Quinn does have 38 points, so this second line is definitely doing it. He's got 27, so hopefully Jost can step up and get some points on that second line for the time being. I know it was only to the end of January, so he's not going to be out for long, but I'm really hoping that they can still get some production. 2-0, very good. Let's see against the Caps, 4-1. Look at this. Look at this team. So Oskari Salminen, we're going to edit that manually because we do want Boyer getting starting time. So let's go ahead and edit manually. And let's go ahead and toss on Boyer into that starting spot. I like that. And then let's go ahead and I think it's Pottelberg. Yeah, Van Pottelberg. Let's go and get him in there. How's Boyer doing? It's coming up a little bit. He's 8 for 12. I know he started off like 0-3. So he's definitely picking it up a little bit. He should be getting some decent boosts after this year with his starter potential. He's got some X factors. So hopefully we can go ahead and get that going. Let's go ahead and swap back over to the NHL. The Griffins are doing very good, so that's nice to see. And the Red Wings are on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-game win streak here. So we are really climbing in the NHL. Now, the Avalanche are also playing very, very well. They're already at 30 wins, which we're not. But we have a 6-point lead on the Maple Leafs at second place. We still have a 4-point lead on the Avalanche for top of the league. So let's go ahead and get these last 2 games in here, Pittsburgh and Vegas. Roslovic is fully healed. Let's go ahead and get him back in the lineup. That's really good. We're going to go ahead and get him straight out for Ernie and then adjust the lines that way. So let's go ahead and get Adam Ernie out and Roslovic back in. There we go. And then Roslovic up on that second line. Jost up on that third line. And then Trennan down the middle. All right, there we go. So we're back to full bill of health. And let's see how these go. I got to stop simulating. Let's see how this looks. So we do take a loss to the Penguins, but that's okay. The Maple Leafs are also hot on our tail, only 2 points behind. The wild card spots are at 53 and 51, so we do have a very decent advantage, but the Maple Leafs are really hot on our tail. Let's go ahead and take this game off of Vegas, and we can't. So our goal scoring did let us down there in the last 2 games. We only got 1 goal in each, but we did go on an 8-game win streak, which is really impressive. That definitely gave us a buffer to get those 2 losses in a row. Let's see. So the 2 games against the Senators are really big this month. Montreal is down at the bottom of the division, so I want to keep pushing them down. But the 2 games against Ottawa are big games. So let's go ahead and get up to the month of March. Let's see, Ottawa. We want to take these games here. Keandre Miller has been injured. Oh, no. Injury bug is starting to bite us. Let's see. So we're going to have to move up Valimaki, and then Edvinsson is going to have to play with Mick Isaac. So let's go ahead and get that all sorted. That's still not too bad. It's still a decent defensive core. I like all the X factors we have up here. That is really nice. Let's go ahead and back out and see how this goes. We did take a 3-0 win off of the Senators, so that's really big. But the Maple Leafs did overtake first place. Now they're really hot. Let's go ahead and see how the Flyers game goes. Not a divisional game, not even it is a conference game, but not a divisional game, so that's okay. Keandre Miller is back, which is good for us. Let's go ahead and get him back in the lineup. Swap over to defense and McIsaac out. Keandre Miller in. Let's go and see. So that is a +2. Honestly, we might just leave that the way it is. That's really good chemistry. Yeah, let's try it like that. I mean, I know that Keandre has a top 4 role, but everyone else, Valimaki, Wallander, and Edmondson all have top 4. Like, they all have a top 4 role, except for Edmondson. So he's definitely going to stay on that bottom line. He's got 11 points, and he's a +10, which is really nice to see. Valimaki +13, Wallander +21. That's really good to see. +16, 35 points, and +12, 31 points. So our defensive core is definitely really good. We're going to leave it down there for that chemistry, though. We'll see if that really helps our simulation. Let's go ahead and cancel here because it bugged out. We did take another regulation loss to the Flyers, but we were bound to have a kind of bad stint with that 8-game winning streak. It's bound to come back at you. Winnipeg, it's a decent team. Let's see if we can take this game. Hopefully we can. We can't. This is a big game here. Let's go ahead and take this. We can go ahead and get him back in there. Salmonen back in will be good for the AHL team. Let's see. How did Boyer do? We've got 11. Yeah, I mean, he's simulating pretty well. So Van Pottelberg, thank you for your time in there, but we're going to go ahead and get Salmonen back up into this starting role. 19 wins in 28 games. That's very good. And then 11 and 18. That's very good. So we're going to have to cancel sim here because we have it glitched out. Let's see if we take that Ottawa game. We did. So we took both Ottawa games, so keeping them from fully catching us. Maple Leafs are only 2 points ahead of us, so not too bad. What's the rest of the league looking like? 75 points on the Avalanche. They're going to be a good team. So other than that, we look like we are the 3rd best team in the NHL right now, so we're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get to March. Let's see, a game against the Devils, another really good team, 2-0 loss. We should take the Canadiens game, a 4-1 loss. Wow. So the 2 games that we definitely needed to win, we won, but we're 500 right now. Or no, we're 1 game under 500 in the month, 2 games under 500. So we're only sitting at 3-5-1, 4-5-1 on that month. Not too great of a month, but we did give ourselves a bit of a buffer, which is nice. We did catch up. We're only 1 point behind the Maple Leafs. So we still look like we're sitting in a good spot. Let's go ahead and get up to the day before the trade deadline. See how it's looking. If we monumentally collapse, we might actually want to buy, but if it looks like we do pretty good here, I'd want to get at least 4 points, and there it is. So let's try to take some more points off of some of these games. New York Islanders, that is a loss. And then let's go ahead and get this Arizona game done. They're about 500, so this is a game we should take. Let's go ahead and see how this goes. First period, we are up 2-1. Lucas Raymond and Roslovic score, and Lawson Krause for them. Second period, we do get another 2, Keandre Miller and Shea Theodore, so production out of the defenseman is really nice. And we have a 3-goal lead, so I'm not going to slow us in this third period. And it ends up going scoreless in the third. So we do take a 4-1 win over the Coyotes, which is really good. So realistically, I don't think that there are moves that we should be making with this team. We're 36, 17, and 9. Only 1 point behind on the Maple Leafs for top of the division. Only 4 points behind the top of the whole league. So I think we're definitely sitting really good. Wow, we got some pretty competitive divisions here. The Metro and the Pacific are looking really competitive. You're talking the worst team is only 1 game under 500 there. Worst team is only 2 games under 500. So no bottom feeder teams in those divisions like the Predators. So let's go ahead and see. We are at the trade deadline, so we theoretically could make moves. I just don't know what moves we'd make. It looks like we have all the pieces to have a great team. Let's go ahead and take a look at how players are performing. So, Lucas Raymond, team leader at 67 points in, what was it, 62 games, I think? Yeah, so not too bad. Line A is still up there. Larkin is up there at point per game. Jack Quinn, I mean, -4. Roslovic, -3. So that second line is definitely giving up some goals, but they're still scoring at 33 points and 43 points. So not really sure if there's any moves we would want to make there or even what we could do to make some moves there. But all in all, like, you got Wallander up here at +21, 18 points. So the defensive lines are definitely playing well, +14, +11. So realistically, I don't think there's any moves we truly want to make. I mean, we could look at maybe players with 1 year left that we might be able to upgrade on. Let's go ahead and take a look at goalie stats. Yeah, I mean, Kosa's playing out of his... He's simulating out of his mind, so... Definitely not changing our goaltender situation. We got 2 great goalies, so... I think let's go ahead and head to the contract screen and see if there are any players we could upgrade on or move. And see how that works out. We will do it in the trade deadline, not right before it. We'll do it in the screen. But let's go ahead and view contracts. Let's see what we're looking at here. Now we're looking at like a line A is potential. He doesn't want to be extended, so a line A is definitely someone we actually could move from, maybe for a different sniper. He doesn't want to be extended, so getting him on a contract next year is going to be tough. But the one I'm actually looking at is we could drop that 8.7 mil. We're up to about almost 18 mil cap space, actually, with dropping him for next year. Jack Quinn doesn't want to re-sign, but I don't think we're like upgrading him on the second line is not really that effective. I think it might be Roslovic that we try to upgrade on. Now, we could just do 1-for-1. Try to just upgrade Roslovic with maybe... Let's see, so what players do we have that, let's go ahead and go in the system here. So I don't want to get rid of Brodin, but Emery might actually have some trade value now. He's a sniper. He does have elite low, but he is growing. He's all the way up to a 68. The last time we looked at him, he was a 64. So he actually could grow, and he's got great sniper power play type X factors. So I think we're going to hold on to Emery. We're 100% holding on to Brodin. He's going to be something special. But all of these top 6s might have a bit of... the top 6s or top 4s might have a bit of value. So like this Wrights guy. Now, he is playing well in the USA development team. So 43 points in 46 games. He might actually jump up. We'll take a look at it when we get there. But I think that second line Roslovic might be someone that we... can upgrade on. We're not going to move Casper. He's a piece for the future, as well as Raymond, Edvinson. So, like, what I'm looking at here is transitioning from this core of Line A, Larkin, Theodore. This older core, Line A, Larkin, Theodore. You've got, like, Vetrano, who's in that, Roslovic, Janot, Trenin. Looking at transferring from this core, like this 26 up core, to, like, Wallander. We've got Wallander we can toss in that conversation. We have even Jack Quinn if we do want to sign him. And then we've got Sider, Raymond, Casper, Edvinson, as well as we have Brodin and potentially Emery that can also be in that core that we build up, as well as Kosa. So that's not looking too bad. Boyer is also in there. So we do have a lot of pieces for the future. I don't necessarily want to move those guys because, say, next year we got a couple people drop off. We don't get the signings that we want. We might start a rebuild way sooner than we want to. I mean, I think we'll still be competitive, but we might start it way sooner than we want to. But, I mean, Shea Theodore is kind of signed long-term. So this is this year. We got him for next year, the year after, and the year after. So 3 more years after this one. So theoretically, we can hold on to this core for a while, make it into a veteran core. But the problem that will happen with that is if we make it into a veteran core, then all of these younger players that we have here, Edvinson, Casper, Sider, Raymond, at this point, they're all going to have big contracts, and we're not going to have the room to keep all of these $8 million, $7 million contracts to go ahead and make room for these guys. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to shift away from the Larkin Theodore, keep Sider Raymond as our top 2 piece, like shift away from these 3 here and move to a Raymond, Sider, Casper, Edvinson, that kind of. So we're clearing up 24 mil in these guys. I think that's how we're going to work it to try and stay competitive while also keeping the team young to not have to get into another full rebuild. But I think what I have decided on is Roslovic. We're going to try to upgrade in the trade deadline. Now, however we have to do that, maybe trading a roster AHL player with like a top 6 or a top 4 potential or something along those lines. I wouldn't be against doing that. So let's go ahead and get into the trade deadline, see what we're looking at, and potentially here, what we can go ahead and do first is just get an idea of the type of player we're looking for. So player search, we are going to signify that it is second line forward. So position we want, I wonder, so you can't, player role, we want second line forward. Player type, I'm going to leave at any. Age max, we're going to go ahead and toss at like a 27, like a 28. Let's go ahead and toss it there. But other than that, I am good with seeing anybody. So let's see what we got here. Second line forward, we're looking at, let's go ahead and sort by overall. The fact that Capo Caco still has second line forward at 88 overall is kind of nuts, but we're going to be looking down in here. So someone kind of like, we have Quinn, so that's exactly the other type of player I'm looking for. What about Pierre-Luc Dubois? That's not a bad option. He's got power forward. His faceoffs aren't that great, so we might want to look for someone else. What about Peyton Krebs? He's got decent faceoffs. He's got great defense. He's playmaker on that second line. It could get the second line some more points. I think Peyton Krebs wouldn't be too bad to look at. No, I don't really want to go down here. That's a little too much trade value. I mean, yeah, I think that's just a little too much for us to go for, because it's going to be the same kind of thing. He's got, what, 2 years remaining. He's going to need a big contract after that. So I don't think Worrell is someone we can go for. I think Peyton Krebs is a great option for us. Now, he does have a... Yeah. That's why I didn't go after him. So maybe, yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois, I think. I think that's the guy we want to go after. Let's see, just for due diligence. I mean, I don't want these big contracts here. We have Quinn. Zadina, we already moved on from, so I don't really want to bring him back. Let's see. Either of these guys, potential, Turcotte. That wouldn't be bad, but as a 2-way forward, he doesn't have great defense. Anton Lundell. Lafreniere, that's too high of trade value. Cole Caulfield, that's too rich. Let's see, I mean, even someone down here would theoretically be an upgrade. Cole Perfetti. He's a sniper. He's got decent defense as a sniper, though. What about Klim Kostin? Another power forward, and he would not be hard to get. What about Denisenko? He's only got 1 year left. He's got 39 points. He's a playmaker. He's got no... Oh, he's a left wing, right wing. That's why we wouldn't have a center for that second line. We don't want Josh Norris's contract. Hoglander. 2-way forward. No... Yeah, we need a center. So what about Perreault? Jacob Perreault? Let's see. I'm just looking. Kirby Doc? No. Dylan Cousins, potentially. Dylan Cousins actually wouldn't be a bad option. That wouldn't be hard to upgrade, and he might actually get a bit of a jump for 1 year. All right, so I think we're gonna target. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. Gabe Velarde. That's not really gonna be an upgrade at that point. I think we're gonna target Dylan Cousins or... What about Nolan Patrick? Not great face-offs, but everything else would look really good on that second line. We could actually target... We're going to target Nolan Patrick from the Vegas Golden Knights. So, let's go ahead and hop into the trade deadline here. We're going to try to target Nolan Patrick. If not, we're going to go for Dylan Cousins. So let's go in advance day here. It is going to put us into the trade deadline. So we are a conservative buyer. We're not buying heavy, but we are buying. So, because I don't think we want to give up draft picks or anything like that. Yeah, let's see. So Crosby's on the market. That's interesting. So we'll just do our due diligence here. Return top 2 defensemen. No, we don't want to do that. Any other centers up here? Something like a Matt Duchene, top forward prospect. We don't really have any forward prospects we could give them. A first-round draft pick in return for Boone Jenner. I mean, that would be good. Let's see. Dallas Stars. Cody Ceci in a 3rd rounder for Sam Steele in a 7th rounder. So one team wants offense, one team wants defense. So I mean, someone like a Boone Jenner isn't awful. Ville Husso's on the trading block as well. Boone Jenner wouldn't be bad. He's 32, only 1 year left, so we wouldn't have to re-sign him. He's definitely an upgrade. I think someone like that might be what we want to go for. Now Matt Duchene. I mean, even that 1 year left, that's not bad. I think we might want to go after Matt Duchene. Let's try it. That would be a really good addition to our second line. So they want to get rid of him. They're not a great team, but they want a top forward prospect back. So that's the problem. So let's go ahead and see. Let's just look at skaters matching block. Not many. So what I think we could do is someone like Wrights. I mean, he's got the X factors, right? Oh, no, that's not this guy. So yeah, someone like Wrights we could toss in there. Do they want any draft picks? They want our first round pick for 2026. It's definitely not going to be a good pick. So let's go ahead and toss that in there. That's definitely something we could get away with. We could even just try first round for Duchene in general, because we have the cap space to take him on for just this year. That'll help us push to the playoffs. Let's see. Trade accepted. All right. That's really big for us, actually. That is really big for us. Wow. Duchene comes to Detroit for just for one first round pick. That's actually really big. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to look at the proposed trade screen. We're going to see, is there anyone else? So now we're looking at Larkin, Laine, Raymond, Duchene, Quinn, and we can offload Roslovic now because we have our second line center, or we could push him down to the 3rd line. That's the other thing, is we could push him down to the 3rd line. He fits well on the 3rd line. And he's got only 1 year left, so we don't theoretically have to get rid of him. That makes the team a lot better, actually. That means we can avoid using Soderblom. He can drop into that replacement spot with Ernie and move Smith back down to the AHL. I'm actually really okay with that. Let's see. So we're looking at forwards. What is our forward core going to look like now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's actually really nice. And then we got Soderblom, Smith. We could even pull up Kirk or Ernie or Fonstad or Luff. Like, we have a lot of depth here. So I'm actually really good with that. Let's check defensemen. Anyone potentially we might want to upgrade on? No, I mean, the defense is definitely good the way it is. They're all performing really well. They got good pluses. We're not moving Edvinson or Wallander or Sider. Maybe someone like Shea Theodore, because that's going to be really tough. I wonder if we could upgrade on Shea Theodore for someone with a shorter contract. Let's see. So what defensemen were available here? Zach Werenski, he's got 3 years left. Hampus Lindholm has 5 years. Petrangelo only has 1 year left. No, I wouldn't want to go there. Let's see. If I go to find trade and I toss in Shea Theodore, because that's a lot of money if we're going to need to be signing big contracts soon, like with Brodin and stuff. So let's go ahead and add Shea Theodore and see if anyone is looking for someone like Theodore at the trade deadline. So Hampus Lindholm in 2 seconds. I don't want to do that. And then Kuznetsov in a second and a third. No, I don't want to do any of those. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just, I don't think we can do player search in this screen. No, we can't. So Capitals make a trade. We got 26 third round, 27 fifth round, and Obey Kubel in exchange for 27 second round, 27 sixth round, and Maloney. All right, so let's just do our due diligence here. We're going to look throughout the NHL, see what kind of defensemen there are, see if there's someone that we could, see if there's someone we would like with like 1, maybe 2 years left and could still play that first line, not hurt the team at all. We definitely want to upgrade the team, but we want to decrease the contract. Ghost is a no. Anderson's a no. Carolina Hurricanes, no. Seth Jones, Korchinski, no. That's another big one we'd have to sign. I mean, so like there's a Cale Makar, but how much you got to give up for Cale Makar and still like and have it even slightly remotely make sense? I mean, that obviously that would fit, but Shea Theodore's trade value is less than half of a bar, so it would be like a Sider and a Theodore would have to go for Makar. So Makar's definitely not one we could go for. What about someone like Gerard though? Does he have any? No X factors, so we're taking out that, but we're adding the offensive defenseman. I don't think Colorado would work. They definitely don't want to give up pieces. Zach Werenski, they want to give up, but 3 years left. I don't think I want to go for that. I want to minimize our contract. 4 years left on Heiskanen, don't want to go there. Nurse has 5. Ekblad has 8, and he's got 5, so I'm not going for any of those. Let's see. So someone like Clark, I mean, I don't even necessarily have to re-sign him, but I could if I want to, and I might be able to get him back for less than, yeah, Brandt Clark, no X factors, offensive defenseman. He's only a +4. He's also not producing points, so I don't think I want to go there. Doughty's a little too old. Don't want to do that. No one there. Let's see. Wow, their defensive core is rough, so definitely no one there. Roman Yossi, nah, that's too much there. 3 years for that old. Definitely don't want to do that. Same with Hamilton. Yeah, no one here. No one here. Okay, Brandstrom. Eric Brandstrom. He's got great puck skills. He could really be a power play guy for us. 32 points. Don't necessarily have to re-sign him because other players are going to get massive jumps. Eric Brandstrom is someone we could move for Theodore rather than having all the years left. We don't necessarily have to re-sign him. So we'll check and see his contract. Hopefully we can get it for, let's see. So do we think we'll be able to get Brandstrom for 8.5 or less? That's what we're looking at. Is can we get Brandstrom for 8.5 or less? Now, I think Theodore even has more trade value. He does. So Ottawa would be over max salary. I don't want to retain any salary, but I could just bring something back to try and get them back down to earth. What about something like Nikita Zaitsev? He's got 1 year left. Detroit would have more than 45 skaters. Let's see. Is there anyone at like 2 or 3 mil that I could do with 1 year left? Let's see. So 1 year left. He's got too much trade value. What about 2 years left? There's not really anybody. 3 years. It would be like Thompson. And then what if I toss in like a... So let's just sort by minimum trade value. They want McIsaac. We don't want to give him up. That's just defenseman. Let's go here. So they want Luff. I'd be fine with giving up Luff. That's league approved, and it looks like it could go through. We're taking the potential salary off for other teams, or we might be able to sign him at like an 8. That might not be too bad. Maybe even 7.5. Maybe we'd be able to do that because Sider is down there at 7.5. It just that to me that seems like we're just we're giving up X factors. No, that doesn't really seem like something that would work. So let's go ahead and keep scrolling through. Senators are going to be nobody. Flyers, let's just go to defenseman here. See what we got here. Nobody there. Pittsburgh, nobody. San Jose, nobody. Seattle Kraken, Pulak, he's got 5 years left, not going there. Nobody there. Tampa, nobody. They've got everyone signed pretty much long term, so we don't want to go there. Maple Leafs, nobody. Vancouver, we're getting down close here now. I mean, Quinn Hughes, same kind of thing. Is like, that's just so much trade value. It's just not reasonable to try and do that. Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, Pietrangelo already said I didn't really want to do that. John Carlson. No, I don't really want to do that. So realistically, I'm thinking that Winnipeg, I mean, we can check. Josh Morrissey. We lose all the X factors. He's a decent player. He's got less money for the 3 years left, but no X factors. Now, I think we're sticking with our team. If we need to move him when we sign contracts, then we move him when we sign contracts. And we can go ahead and do it like that. So I think we're just sticking with this team for the year. And we're just going to ride it out. We did upgrade our second line center with Matt Duchene. Our pick wasn't going to be anything special anyways, so I'm cool with that. And we do have depth for the future. So, and here's my thing is, if I'm not drafting for star players, depth is fully obtainable in free agency. So I don't really think we really need to go for depth. So let's go ahead and exit the trade deadline. We're going to go ahead and get this season done in this video. I think we're going to be a playoff team. I think that's pretty much confirmed at this point. So we're going to go ahead and get through the rest of the regular season. Let's see. So what are we looking at here? Let's just take a look at the standings. We're 1 point behind the Maple Leafs, so not too bad. Other than that, we are still the third best team in the NHL, so looking really, really good. We'd have to have a monumental collapse for it to not work. Actually, before we hop into calendar, let's just go make sure all of our lines are good, because I know if you actually do make a move in the trade deadline, it can get a little finicky. So let's go ahead and hop into there. Make sure Matt Duchene is on that second line with Jack Quinn. Yeah, so Duchene isn't even in here. Is he scratched? He is scratched. So Duchene, because he's scratched, what we're going to go ahead and do is move out Soderblom for Duchene. Let's see. So there he is. Get Duchene in there. Get him on that second line. Then Roslovic is going to take third line. Tyson Jost can go ahead and take third line with with Rasmussen and Roslovic. We want to leave the sniper on the third line. We don't want to give him fourth line time with a very defensive fourth line. So we can go ahead and toss Vetrano, Trennan, Jeannot, Rasmussen, Roslovic, and Jost, Quinn, Duchene, and Kasper. So that really upgrades the team a lot. And this guy's a rental to try and make the team better for this year. So let's go ahead and check the power plays as well. Make sure we can get Duchene on the power play. Okay, so what we don't want, I think we don't want Sider on this first line power play. So let's go ahead and check. We want Larkin, Raymond, Theodore, and Laine. That was the guy we want up there. So let's go ahead and get Laine in right here. Boom, switch him out. And then Sider, we're definitely going to want on power play line 2. So Sider, let's see. Sider for Quinn we could probably do. There we go. Toss Quinn back there. Power play line 2. We have Sider and Sider. That don't work. Jost, Vetrano, and Trennan. Definitely not. So Trennan, you're coming off for Matt Duchene. There we go. Vetrano, you're coming off for Marco Kasper, I think. Let's see, we've got all these guys. Duchene, we have Quinn on that first one. So we could do like a Roslovic. Yeah, let's get Roslovic there. And then Jost for, that's going to be Casper. Go ahead and get him there. There we go. And then Sider obviously can't play both spots. So Duchesne, Roslovic, Casper, Sider. And let's go ahead and toss on Keandre Miller. I'm good with that. It's a -1. Let's see. Is there a forward we could toss on here? Let's see. We could toss Jost on here. Let's see. Is it still -1? No, there we go. Okay, I want Sider up the middle, though. Let's go ahead and do it like that. Yeah, I'm definitely good with that. Let's check the penalty kill, because I know Duchesne is a decent penalty killer. Let's see if any lines need him. We don't want extra lines. We want penalty kill. Let's see. Penalty kill line 2. Duchesne is already in there with Casper. And then, yeah. Okay. So I'm good with our penalty kill. That looks really good. All right. I think we are all set. Actually, let's check 3-on-3 lines for overtime. And just make sure we have Duchesne on one of the 3-on-3 lines. Larkin, line A, Sider. I'm good with that. 3-on-3 line 2. I think we're going to want Duchesne with Raymond. Yeah, let's go ahead and get Duchesne with Raymond here. And then 3-on-3 line 3. Let's go ahead and toss in Roslovic here. Oh, let's go ahead and check. No, let's go ahead and toss Casper on that 3-on-3 line. Yeah, Casper, Quinn, and Wallander. I'm good with that. Okay, so I think all of our lines are set up in a good way. I think this Matt Duchesne definitely pushes us closer to a top-tier team. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this season sim done. Now, the big games we're going to have, let's go ahead and just take a peek at these standings again at our division. Our big games that we definitely want to win are Maple Leafs, Senators, Bruins, Sabres. So the Lightning and the Panthers really fell off. We're 15 points and 16 points ahead of them. But we definitely want to take this Maple Leafs game. We definitely want to take this Buffalo game. And we want to take this Toronto game. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to do it like this. Auto-rotate goalies is on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure... Yeah, actually, we're going to play it out a full GM way. So we're going to go turn auto-rotate goalies off. And we are going to go edit the lines ourselves to make sure we have Saros in net for when we want it. So let's go ahead and go into settings. Let's make sure that we give Saros the for sure games that we want to play him in. So we got rules. Let's find that auto-rotate goalies. Boom, turn that off. We want to give ourselves the best chance at winning the games we need to win. So, let's see what we got here. So, let's go ahead and make sure Saros is in for this Toronto game. I think we're going to play him these 3 games in a row because they're all divisional games. So, let's go ahead and look here. Make sure Saros is in the net. All right, he is. Sounds good. So, we want UC Saros in the net for these 3 games for sure. I would honestly be fine with going like a 3-to-1 ratio. So let's see. We've got, yeah, what we can go ahead and do is we're going to do Saros for these 3. We're going to toss a backup in against Colorado. I'm not worried about that. We're going to leave the then we're going to go Saros for Carolina, Buffalo, Tampa Bay. And then we're going to go back up for St. Louis, Saros for Toronto and Canadiens. Actually, we'll do backup for Canadiens. Okay, so I know how I'm going to do this. Let's go ahead and get up to the 19th here with Saros in net. So we got Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Florida. Now I'm playing him back-to-back nights, which might hurt him. 7-2 win and 4-1 win. Please no injury on Saros. And then Florida, he does give up 3, but we take the big one, which is the Maple Leaf game. So, and he also gets us one against the Lightning, which is good. So, let's go ahead and get our backup in here. We don't want to injure our goalie. We definitely don't want Saros injured here. So, let's go ahead and get our backup in. Give Saros a break. All right, here we go. Goalies, Kosa, you're going in. Let's go ahead and give him a starter 2 here. I think I might give him 2. Actually, no, that Buffalo game is a game we definitely want to win. I mean, they're 13 points behind us, so I don't think they're catching us, but I definitely think that's a game we for sure want to win. So, Colorado, good team. How can you do, Kosa? Let's see. Is that too much firepower for you? Let's check. 5-2 win. Kosa simulating really well. Carolina, we can go ahead and leave Kosa in for Carolina. Or no. So I think, I mean, Buffalo and Tampa, we definitely want to beat both of those teams. Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to beat both of those teams. So rather than giving Saros 3 games in 4 days, what we're going to do is leave Kosa in for Carolina since it's not a big deal how it goes. Let's go ahead and leave Kosa in for Carolina, see how he sims. 4-2 loss, that's okay. Let's go ahead and get Saros back in net for these divisional games. Let's see. All right, edit lines here. All right, Kosa, thanks for the games, big dog. Let's go ahead and toss in that stud goaltender for the divisional games here. There we go. All right, Kosa, you're out for Saros. Let's see, Kosa, 931-11. That's really good. He should get really good growth after this season for that kind of statistical year. Let's see. So we've got Saros in net, so let's go ahead and get him. He is going to play back-to-back days again against divisional opponents again, which I don't know why they keep doing that to us. Toronto and Tampa Bay back-to-back, and then Buffalo, Tampa Bay back-to-back as well. Let's go ahead and get Saros in for both of these games, Buffalo and Tampa. See what we're looking at here. 6-3 loss, but then we win against the Lightning, so that is another divisional win, which is good. The Maple Leafs are pulling away a little bit. They're 3 points up, but we're staying right there with Maple Leafs and Avalanche this whole season, so that's really good. Let's give Kosa the game against St. Louis, and then Saros we're going to give Toronto, Montreal, and New Jersey. Yeah, let's give Kosa the St. Louis game. Let's see. So, we're going to give Kosa the St. Louis game, and then we're going to give Saros the next 2 games. Kosa 1, and then Saros again back to Boston. So let's go ahead and hop over to goalies again here. Go ahead and give Kosa this game. Yeah, he's playing really well, so it's not a bad choice to get him in there. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and go to calendar here. And let's get this rolling. So we have St. Louis here, which Kosa is going to play, and then I think we're going to do 2 for Saros, which are the divisional opponents again. All right, there's a win for Kosa. Nice. Let's go ahead and get Saros back in for 2 games, then Kosa a game, then Saros again. Let's go ahead and edit lines here. I don't hesitate putting Kosa in because he's been simulating really, really well. So I don't think we're like tanking an end of season thing here by giving Kosa some more games or by giving Saros certain games. So Saros is back in there for the divisional opponent again. All right, so we got Tampa and Montreal, or we got Toronto, which is a big one we definitely want to win here. We might be able to overtake them if we can beat them here. Saros, I got you in net for that reason. Let's go ahead and get past Toronto and Montreal. So let's see, Toronto, that'd be a big game to take. And we can't take it. They jump out in another lead. Montreal should be a win. There we go. All right, we're still 3 points behind the Maple Leafs. And we're only 3 points behind the Avalanche. So it's possible to get that President's Trophy. We just got to really keep working. Let's go ahead and get Saros in here. Or no, let's get Saros out, get Kosa in against the Devils. So let's go ahead and work it like that. Well, actually, theoretically, these are spaced out games. If we really want to try to push for the President's Trophy, we could give Saros all 4 of these in a row and put Kosa in for Pittsburgh. That's what we're going to do. All right, let's get the Devils here. We got Saros in net. Etty and Morin, we're just going to head coach replace. So he takes the win against the Devils. Bruins is going to be a good one. 5-3 loss. So we're going to get Kosa in for this game. And then Saros in for, let's see, how close are the Sabres? The Sabres are actually pulling up, but I don't really think they're going to be too much competition. Now, we did already clinch a playoff spot. We are 4 points behind the Maple Leafs, 3 points behind the Avalanche, but we guaranteed ourselves another playoff appearance. So that's really nice. I think realistically, since it's guaranteed already, we're going to go ahead and turn auto rotate goalies back on just to make the end of the season a little quicker here. Go ahead and turn it back on here. And we can go ahead and just sim through the season. So we have auto rotate goalies on. We can go ahead and I think we gave Kosa the last game, right? I just want to toss Saros in, make sure that he's the starter in these situations. Let's go ahead and go to edit lines here. Just want to make sure the game recognizes him as a starter. So let's go ahead and hop into goalies here. Okay, Saros is in net, so that's really nice. All right, so let's go ahead and get through the remainder of the season, see how the season wraps up. We're going to go ahead and do a point wrap up, check the whole league, and we'll do playoffs in the next episode. So let's go ahead and hop up to here. Pittsburgh, let's see. We should be able to take that. Oh, we don't. So let's see. Carolina, Morin. Yeah, we definitely want to get him back on that top line. So we're going to make sure we added these manually. Let's go ahead and get to defense here. Bishop, thank you for your service. Morin, you are back in. So back to that +5. Let's just take a look at Brodin. Yeah, 41 points in 66 games down the AHL. That's really nice. And Morin has 22. So AHL team looks like they're doing pretty good. And I don't think I have any offensive studs to worry about. He's doing okay. What about Avon, top 9? Yeah, I mean, not too great. What about Maggio at bottom 6? Not really worried about that. Eberzazy isn't going to grow too much, so not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and cancel sim here because it's going to bug out because we were in the AHL. There we go. Let's flip and flop. There we go. So we do take the game off of Carolina. Let's see. We're 4 points behind the Maple Leafs and only 1 point behind the Avalanche. So we've got a possible, what is that, 10 points left. So we need the Maple Leafs to not do well to take the President's Trophy, but we are guaranteed probably top 5 in the NHL at this point. So we're looking really good. So let's go ahead and get through the season. We can get to that wrap up. Buffalo would be a good game to take. We do take it. Tampa, we should be able to take it. Let's see. We do 9-0 too. We take a point off of them. Okay, let's see. So we don't take that point. So Maple Leafs, they still have a game to play. So I don't think we can pass them. It would depend on if we get a regulation win and they get a regulation loss. Or like a regulation or overtime win. We don't want a shootout win against the Panthers here. But we have guaranteed ourselves. Let's see, the Avalanche could still get 4 points. So they could pass us if we don't get a point. But we've guaranteed ourselves top 3, top 4 in the league. So that's really nice. 104-point season you can't complain about. Let's see. So the Maple Leafs have their last game on the same day we do. Looks like the Penguins are the only team done so far. And the Sharks. So those teams are done. Let's see. So the Sharks could get passed up for bottom wildcard spot, which would put them against the best team over there. But we theoretically could catch the Maple Leafs. I don't know what the regulation overtime wins look like, but the Avalanche could. If we can win this game in regulation, actually, if we can just win this game in general, the Avalanche can't catch us. But if we don't win it, in regulation or overtime, then the Maple Leafs are going to take President's Trophy. Let's go ahead and see. So, hopping in here against Florida. Let's go ahead and see if we can take this game. We should be able to. They're the second worst team in our division. So, first period. Oh, they scored 3. Kachuk, Heponiemi, and Kachuk again. They take the goals. Wallander does get 1. Let's see if we can catch back up in the second. We get 1 to catch back up to 1, but then Barkov scores on the power play. And third period, we get another 1, try to come back late, but it doesn't quite work, but that's okay. So, all in all, good season. We do take, let's see, let's get one more day up, and we can see what all teams are looking like. So, it looks like, yeah, all teams have all 82 games played. So, we did take, it looks like, tied for second in the NHL. So not too bad. Let's see, 104. They have 49, so they might have more regulation and overtime wins. But we're top 3 in the NHL, which is really, really nice to see. So let's go ahead and do a season wrap-up with points, how the NHL looks like it's stacked up, and we'll go from there. So Dylan Larkin had a 30-goal season, 85 points. That's a really good season for Dylan. Really good season for the captain. So let's see what we got here. So 80 points for Raymond as well. That is definitely his best season so far. 28 goals, 52 assists. That is really nice. He's putting up, actually, he's looking like he's going to have a really decent career. Might actually be able to get him to a Hall of Fame career if we can keep him at 80 points for the rest of his career. That would be really nice. Let's see how Larkin is stacking up in that kind of conversation. 672 points, so he's getting up there. He's probably got 4 or 5 years left. He needs probably another 300 points to be in that conversation. 4 or 5 years left. You're talking 5 years at like 60 points a season. That's 300 points. He could get himself in that conversation. That is if he can hold up that late into his career. So looking pretty good. Line did miss, looks like 5 games due to injury, but still a 70-point season. That's really nice. How's he looking for his career? 639 points, same kind of thing, but he's got 2 years on Larkin, so he definitely could do it if he keeps on putting up these big years. Let's see. So Quinn at 57, that's a good year for him. Moritz Seider at 56, that's a really good year for a defenseman. Same with Shea Theodore. 17 goals as well for Seider, that's nice. Jack Roslovic actually put up 22 goals. Duchesne didn't really do much. Let's see. So full career stats here for Duchesne. He did get 11 points with us, so that's really nice. He might be on his way to it might be close. If he can have one more good year in the NHL, he might be on his way to a Hall of Fame career, but we'll see. He did have a lot of good years here in Colorado, so we'll see if he can hold his overall next year. I might drop him to free agency, but we'll see if he can hold his overall and maybe push for that Hall of Fame type of career. Wallander had a good year, 24 points plus 23. Edvinsson, 17 points plus 15. That's a good year. So yeah, all in all, looked like a pretty good season for the Red Wings. Let's go ahead and take a look at Saros and Kosa. Saros at 38 wins. That's really nice. Kosa had a phenomenal year. He should jump up to like an 84, 85, I would hope, after this year. That would be really nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at our AHL stats. Salmonen had a really good year. Boyer, not quite. But hopefully he can jump up and have a good year in the AHL next year. Salmonen had a pretty decent year at 26 and 13. And then let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not worried about the forwards. I'm really worried about this Brodin. So 44 points plus 4. That's a really nice year for him. He'll be NHL ready next year with those X factors. So I'm really excited for Christian Brodin. And this is the guy, so I think in maybe 2 years, he'll be up at like that 85, 86, 87 range, and he can be on a pair with Seider, and that's where we're going to, move off of Shea Theodore. So we'll see where he grows next year, and then we can potentially move Shea Theodore. The one thing I do want to look at is we're gonna have to go look at our contracts and look at the expirings, see if there's anyone that's gonna need a much bigger contract than they already have for the type of cap space that we're looking at. So before we get into the playoffs here, let's go ahead and just take a curiosity peek at that. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go to all expiring. Now anyone with a small contract, that's gonna need an actual big boy contract. So it doesn't look like it. So Wallander, depending on how high he jumps, and Edvinsson, depending on how high he jumps, I would expect these to be $4 or $5 million, maybe $6 million contracts, but nothing crazy. Yeah, no crazy contracts here. We're not gonna sign any of these guys. We're gonna drop them. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna have any actual big contracts to sign next year. So we are going to make some decisions here. I don't know how much money Duchesne is going to want. He doesn't want to be extended. Neither does Line, neither does Quinn, and neither does Roslovic. So we're going to have some decisions to make here. We're looking at, what, 42 mil in cap space after these guys go. So we definitely got some money to work with, but we got some big contracts. What about goalies? Salmonen's going to need a contract, but that's it. So not a big one. So we're looking like we're in a decent spot to also make a run next year. It's just going to be these top guys here that we're going to have to worry about getting them big contracts. So let's go ahead and see what the playoff picture is stacking up as. So Our first round opponent is, let's see, one more day. Our first round opponent is the Buffalo Sabres. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to just look at the full playoff picture here. So let's see, playoff tree. We do have the Buffalo Sabres in round number 1. So we're over there on the right side of Eastern Conference. We have the Caps and the Devils, the Hurricanes and the Rangers, and the Maple Leafs and the Senators. Over in the Western Conference, we have the Chicago Blackhawks with the Winnipeg Jets, the Avalanche and the Oilers, the Kraken and the Kings, and the Canucks against the Ducks. That's actually the exact same as it was last year, Canucks-Ducks. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead, and the last thing we're going to do is take a look at what we are going to be up against in the first round of the playoffs. So let's go ahead and go to view lines. Let's go ahead and look and see what Buffalo has. So we have the Buffalo Sabres in round number 1. So they've got a lot of center depth, but other than that, I think our offense beats them. I really do think our offense beats them. We have that star power first line. Wait. Is this last year's playoffs that it's showing me? Okay, yeah, it's last year's playoffs that it's showing me. Okay, I was like, wait, did that just give me a hint? Okay. So we do have the Buffalo Sabres in round number 1. Now, Tage Thompson is good. This Per Lindbach, let's see, he was a 2nd overall draft pick, so he's definitely a great player for them. But I think we have them on offense. Let's check defense. They have a stacked defense. Wow, Reese Hancock was 5th overall in 2024 offensive defenseman. Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, Ghost, Hancock with his X Factors, Jokiharju and Samorikov. That's really good. And they have Vladar and, okay, so Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is their starter at an 87. So we have them on goalies. I think we have them on offense, but their defense is really heavy. So getting goals against their defense is going to be tough. But we will see how that plays out in the next video when we hop into the round 1 playoffs of year number 4.